Right, let's go live. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 1st of February. Okay, so after the pinch and the punch for the first day of the month, let's get cracking. So today, well, let's look at yesterday. Of course, the Fed meeting yesterday, and the decision was to leave things as is. But also the sort of hawkish tones continued. In other words, they were still suggesting, and it sort of was made pretty clear in the end, I think, that they're not looking to cut rates in March, which the markets have priced in. That's obviously having its effect on the US dollar at the moment. There was a full cut priced in for March. It seems that they're sort of doing their best to suggest there won't be. Now, whether there will be is another matter. But they're making it clear that they want to see the inflation rate running at 2% and not touching 2%. So there's here you go. That would suggest at least a month down the line. So today we got the Bank of England. Let me just pull up the today's doings. He says, let's get rid of that little old. So we've already seen that was yesterday. Let's get today, please. Thank you. So we've already seen Australian building permits, building approvals running down slightly, like minus 9.5%. That is not good for the Australian dollar. Export prices increasing. Well, yeah, that's a promising sign, but just might mean they sell less. So today we've got German manufacturing data this morning, final PMI there. The final data, I don't know why they put in red on here, because it's the flash data that is the key. But that's not to say we won't see something, some volatility potentially around that area. More importantly is the inflation data coming out. The flash data at 10 o'clock there, and of course the Bank of England. Now this is the key thing for today. Bank of England votes. What we'll be looking for is the votes for a hike, and see where we're sitting on these sort of numbers. So the voting would be very, very key today. So there you go. Anyway, that's to watch for later. If that voting holds up and follows the same sort of path as what we've seen with the US, we could see the pound bounce back a bit. For now though, let's look at these markets, and the euro continuing this trend downwards. It's doing technically what it was showing it was going to do, and it's doing it, and it's holding up pretty well. The data has certainly helped things there. Lower highs, it did have that spike up yesterday afternoon, but has followed the path to the downside morning pull, putting lower highs, lower lows through. So at the moment I remain bearish there on the euro dollar. Fits with everything else. It's the sentiment, etc. What we got with the pound then, same old really. It is starting to slip off a little bit here. You'll see it on the lower time frames, intermediate and lower time frames. There is that question of what's going to happen later is going to be the big decider on this, and which way it's going to push. I think prices, the markets are pricing it a slight adjustment, I think, in terms of the voting, but no adjustment in interest rates. And they've been pretty hard up until now, the Bank of England members. We've got confirmed lower highs kicking in here. It's at the moment it's already hit the S1, but the news from the Bank of England could change all. So I wouldn't trade that this morning personally. US dollar yen, well, we're still sitting in this. Well, it's not doing too bad actually. Yen's strengthening slightly. It didn't rally back higher than the highs we saw yesterday earlier on, and it's hanging around. Maybe today it'll push up to its R1. We'll see. Yeah, not a lot there. It's very ugly with that move there. As I said, at 2 o'clock it really did shuffle. The Australian Australian dollar then, well, closed up, selling off last night and continued through here, and to me it's looking like it's got further downside. I'm not short on this one, I'm short on the New Zealand. Been short on it since the 16th. It's etched in my mind because it's not really moved, but has moved a bit now. This certainly has moved. There's no easy entry from where it sits at the moment. US dollar CAD. Now, this broke down yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and continued through there for a while yesterday, but has reversed at the moment. It's not looking particularly great where it is at the moment, and it has put higher lows in, and it's not head and shoulders, but you can see the sort of pattern that where it's come up, tested the underside of the quarterly pivot back to the testing, and then through, and this has made it look more bullish than anything else at this stage. We've got to wait. I think it's next week we get the Canadian data coming out in the central bank meeting. New Zealand dollar, okay, so it's put me back in the black, but it's still sitting there lagging a little bit. It'd be nice to see this break through. It's not an add-in for me. I'm not positive enough to be adding into a trade like this, but it could, I don't know if it breaks these lows here. I'll take a look at it and see, but you do need to be careful with the stops on this one. It has been lingering. I'm glad I didn't bring them down too quickly. I was considering bringing them down to the above the double pivots here, and then just decided, well, just leave it. It's the trouble. You start managing what is a swing trade into a day trade, only to get stopped, and then you come back and you would see this. So you've got to leave these things. It is a swing. It's always looked like a swing. It's just it's chopped, but you stick with the original plan. So always a good lesson. Now the US dollar Swissy. Well, this has been drifting off nicely, but and it triggered where I was looking for a break. It triggered the break yesterday evening. In the end, well, afternoon actually. But with the Fed coming out, I left well alone, and I'm glad I left well alone. It did bounce back up there, and might yet push the other way. I mean, I wouldn't be looking to buy this until it broke the pivot here, the yearly pivot. So to me, it's still in the short zone. There's no structural changes here on this time frame. Euro yen, I mean, it's fine on the shorter time frames at times to have a bite of those, but I am trading off the day 4 hourly more swingy basis. Euro yen still failing here. Did a nice little rally at one stage yesterday. Looked like it was going to fly off, and then you come down, look at the time frames. Oh, yep, it's gone straight into a trend line. Found resistance straight into that trend line and rolled over. And lower highs coming through, slowing down at this stage. It's just slowed up for now, and there's probably some divergences running across. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, maybe a bit of divergence running across the lows there. Right. My other suspects, EuroCAD, not really doing too much here. It's still dancing. It's I was looking for a bigger move in this, but not doing a great deal at the moment, but holding in there, I think, is the term. So still hanging in, hanging around. It did its double top there. It's broken the lows of that. Generally trading a double top, you look for the 2 highs or the 3 triple tops or whatever else, but you take the measurement from the low to the high, and then you put that on the chart from the break where it's broken here to the downside. Might still have scope, who knows. It was only a spike, and that you could argue, well, it's done triple bottoms now, which means it could just be sitting there in a range, another range. It's sat there in that range long enough here, could just be sitting back in the range, but I like the downside anyway, and I shall stay short on it. Right, that's pretty much it on Forex for a moment. If you want to come and join me, you can do. There's a link in YouTube to come and join me. 8:35, I'll be back in the room. Let's carry on here though. In the first place, just have a quick look at what gold's doing, and it's not a lot. I don't want to get into this at this stage. It's not seasonally necessarily very good, and it's to me it's just sitting there. You're going to sit in risk for not a lot of gain. It has snuck its way up a little bit with higher lows in there. That spoilt it somewhat yesterday, and you could argue it's going to push through there with the uncertainties, political uncertainties. Yep, it's got scope for a push up there, but I just don't like what it's doing at the moment. I think Biden's thinking about not immediately reacting to the attacks. May have been the slower. The oil, sorry, just flicking through this on my own here for a moment. Oil coming off again yesterday. It just ran through and continued running through here. I'm just looking, it's broken the low there, giving us a lower high, and well, it was a messy old day yesterday. I was looking at it earlier on there, 2 o'clock it sold. It was possibly a go with, but everything was moving a bit weird, and it's put a lower high in now. It's looking soft where it is at the moment. Maybe look at this later and it'll be more of the same. You're welcome, Dean. S&P, so solid down day yesterday. They don't like the idea of interest rates being held. We've got this pivot underneath here. What a lovely area if we get a bit of a bounce from that to be buying into. Look, it's inevitable interest rates are going to be eased up at some point, and this market can hold on a little bit longer, and maybe even if it does roll over, it'll give us opportunities to buy. Data that was coming out wasn't necessarily that great, and certainly not helped by the tech data coming out wasn't great, and not necessarily helped at all. But it's got some scope there. We'll see what happens in the coming days. There's no rush with any of this. The DAX was doing quite well. It's pulled off yesterday. It's followed the rest of the equity markets here, looking a bit iffy at the moment. Again, well, actually with the lower highs in, don't really like it too much at all at this stage. FTSE, the FTSE, well, came off yesterday. Got a little bounce again. This is going to be shaped up again by the Bank of England coming out later. So there we go. We'll just talk about the wrong market. I was just about to talk about Bitcoin briefly. Bitcoin came off yesterday, didn't really shine so well. We've been watching this because one of my members of the community there, was watching this carefully, came off again. The quarter, it just shows you these 4 hour, this is 4 hourly time frame, but more importantly the weekly pivot and how the R1 has been holding it. Now there is a chance at some stage this could break and push on through. It is a weekly pivot, but it's not that convincing at the moment, is it? Anyway, there we go. I was just thinking how long these weekly pivots are, and of course it's a 7-day week, isn't it? That's why it's so long. Anyway, another break and maybe a close above that would give it a better chance, but at the moment the R1's just holding things there. Right, okay, I will leave this for now. I'll catch you later. Have a great day. As I said, if you're on YouTube, you can pop over. There's a link at the bottom and join me at 8:35. Take care. Catch you later. There we go.